Good morning, day 43, Interrupted Life. I like reading bios of other people. I always have as a child. I found it fascinating to learn about other places and people and historical times. I always asked my grandparents for their stories, and I was delighted to learn that traditions that I had in my lifetime didn't even exist in their lifetimes. The beauty of reading the bios, though, especially the historical ones, is that we have the benefit of knowing what's behind the curtain, what's further down the road, what's at the end of the hallway, and on the other side of that closed door. So, reading later, we already know the person's story and how it will unfold or end. And it fascinates me mostly to read how these people greeted and handled their lives' events as they occurred. Those are the lessons that I was learning. Do those people fear the unknown? Do they trust that things will unfold as they will? Do they run from the unknown or turn and face it with conviction that they will handle whatever comes their way? So here's a quote about trusting and holding to your convictions about facing your life. This quote is from a book called An Interrupted Life by Etty Hillesum. Etty was a student in Amsterdam in the early 1940s when World War II came to her door and interrupted her life. We read about her life now, well after the fact, though she herself did not know that she would be deported to Auschwitz later. I find life beautiful and I feel free. The sky within me is as wide as the one stretching above my head. I believe in God and I believe in man, and I say so without embarrassment. Life is hard, but that is no bad thing. If one starts by taking one's own importance seriously, the rest follows. It is not morbid individualism to work on oneself. True peace will come only when every individual finds peace within himself, when we have all vanquished and transformed our hatred for our fellow human beings of whatever race, even into love one day, although perhaps that is asking too much. It is, however, the only solution. I am a happy person, and I hold life dear indeed. In this year of our Lord, 1942, the umpteenth year of the war. And a short time after she wrote that quote in her journal, she was caught up in the maelstrom of World War II, deported to Auschwitz in 1943, and then she died very shortly thereafter. Christina Baldwin, you've heard me talk about her many times, her wonderful book, Life's Companion, reminds us that we generate fear by trying to impose order or control over things that we don't have control over. And rather than fear, we can spend our days building trust in ourselves or in all else. So here's a journal prompt that Baldwin suggests. Write a statement expressing your contract with life. Reflect on the statement that Etty expressed about her own life. And I want to share a brief story with you about my own university students and how we greeted the eve of the COVID years, although we did not yet know what was going to happen. It was March 12th, 2020, and we were sharing the last class together that we had before our spring break in 2020. We usually spend a few minutes of our class always talking about bigger life issues. And in this last class, then, something encouraged me to approach the discussion much more seriously. I remember telling my students, I don't know what's going to happen in the coming days. I have a feeling that it's going to be something momentous and important, and I don't know what. What I want us all to do from this moment forward and during our break is to think long and hard about who we are and what we stand for. What type of persons are we? What do we believe in? And let's decide now, before we're faced with something we do not expect. What will we be in that moment? How will we show up to that moment? What will we stand for when that time comes? Now, I look back on that day and I wonder how our discussion was so prophetic. That night, Broadway shut down. Our 1 week spring break was expanded to 2 weeks. Our entire world was turned upside down as we all scrambled to take workshops and learn how to use Zoom. And I'm so glad that we ended our brief time together in person at Texas State with this encouragement to consider how we would greet the future with the best part of ourselves and decide this in advance. So, what will your statement express about your contract with your life? Reflect on the kind of person that you will be as you greet whatever comes your way. What's important to you? If you would like more journaling prompts and reflections, please like and subscribe, and then share your statement about your contract with your life in the comments. Let's share our contracts together.